man, it just gets worse and worse with this whole destination filter thing. Hey everyone, this is Kevin the Apptrepreneur, and I hate to talk about the destination filter again so soon, about 24 hours later in fact. But we have to, because unfortunately Uber is really screwing the drivers on this one. Now, you might be thinking, how could it get worse? I mean, yeah, they basically said that, yeah, if you use the destination filter, you're gonna lose 30% of your fare. Sometimes it may be less, sometimes it may be higher. Who really knows how much they'll take out? But you'll be told about it, and we're doing this to improve productivity. It's always about improving productivity. And yet, what they're essentially doing is they are taking away more control the drivers have to drive how they want, when they want, and where they want. Uber keeps treating us more and more like employees, and it is amazing that there are still people who think we're independent contractors. We are independent contractors in name only at this point. Uber has us wrapped around their finger, especially some people. Look, the funny thing is, like, I read the comments. I don't respond to every single one of them. I read them, and there are still people who say, stop complaining, go drive, make something of yourself. And it's like, guys, why would I willingly be abused? That's like going to a girlfriend and you're in a toxic relationship and you would be better off dating any other girl out there and going like, no, I need to make it work. It's, I'm not a loser. No, you're in denial. You are in such denial. It's not that I'm a negative Nancy. The problem is you're in la la land. It's just Uber is screwing you, and they will continue to screw you because you let them screw you. And they took it a step further with the destination filter. Because while most places had a rate deduction if you use it, and by the way, so far even these Uber fans have not actually explained how this is a positive thing, but in places like New York, well, they just outright took it away altogether. This is a simple one, and thanks to Sketchone, by the way, for passing this along. He said, well, not he said, this is what Uber said, destinations will be unavailable starting March 14th. We know that destinations is an important feature for many drivers. Unfortunately, high usage of destinations in New York City has increased pickup times on a number of trips and decreases vehicle utilization measured by the TLC's new rules. We've seen lower earnings for some drivers who are not using destinations because they need to spend more time driving to pickups. Well, that's their choice to make less money if they want. Don't you say, as independent contractor, if they want to make less money than what they're actually worth, that's their freedom to do so. I mean, Uber, you should know this. People drive for you at all, so clearly some people are fine with making less than what they're worth. As a result, we'll be removing the destinations feature in New York City starting March 14th. The decision to disable destinations was taken very seriously. We understand it may have a big impact on your driving experience. We will review how this change affects pickup times and driver earnings. Well, there you go. So, at least New Yorkers don't have to worry about having to choose whether they want to get screwed by a destination trip or not. Now, here's the thing. I have heard rumors that this has been taken away in other cities and states too. So far, I have only gotten screenshots of New York City outright taken away. Most other places, the rates have been reduced. Now, why is it getting taken away from New York City? I don't know why. I've got a theory. It may be wrong. I am open to it being wrong. But here's what I think. I think it's being deactivated from New York City because of the minimum payment that New York passed. Now, I've been calling it a minimum wage for a while. It's probably, I've been explained that it's not that. I've also been told that even though it's in theory a law that New York City passed to ensure that drivers get paid at least a minimum fare per hour, in practice, it doesn't really work out that way. And, the New York City scene is so complicated, and I'm not there. I can't even begin to pretend how it works. But here's the thing. That is one of the few places where, at least on paper and at least in theory, the drivers are supposed to make a certain amount per hour in theory. Again, this doesn't really work out the way some people have actually explained it to me. And Uber decides to start going pretty much nationwide right off the get-go. They're going to start cutting rates for the destination filter. Well, then you get to some place like New York City where you have to pay a minimum. And that means to basically cut the rates would be futile because they have to make a certain amount per hour in theory. Well, if that's the case, and this is not about money, by the way, this is because Uber doesn't want you using the destination filter. Mark my words, they don't want you using it. So if they can't lower the rates, like cut the rates to get you to use it less because effectively they have to pay you a minimum amount in theory, then the next best thing to do is to simply take it away. Take it away. Therefore, they can't use it at all. Therefore, there is no destination filter. And some people might look at this and say, well, there's your proof, Kevin. This is what the politicians do. I liked the destination filter. And because Uber has to pay a minimum fare for their drivers, in theory, now we can't have the destination filter. Except, I don't feel sorry for you. Uber probably did you a favor. Because again, we saw they were going to cut your rates anyway. I mean, look, you're already doing the rides for like 60 cents a mile, in some cases like 40. Why would you take a 30% reduction on that? I mean, that's just bad business all around. And again, this is not about Uber saving money, although I'm sure it helps that they profit a little bit. This is simply them not wanting you to use the destination filter. So in most areas, they have reduced the rates, and it can get as high as 70%, which means you could, if you, like, for example, were making 80 cents and you could have 70% of that taken away. I mean, geez, is that even 20 cents? I don't know. I'm not good at math, admittingly, but that's a ridiculous thing when you stop and think about it. But in New York, hey, if they cut the rates, who cares? They got to pay a minimum rate, you know, for the drivers per hour, in theory. So they just took it away. I mean, they don't want people using the destination filter. That's how they control you in New York. Now, again, I have heard there are other areas where they've taken away. So that might not be the reason. Again, I am perfectly open to being wrong about this one. This is just a theory, a rideshare theory, and it could be wrong. So that's where we're going to leave it, though. I want to ask you folks, what do you think? Do you agree with that theory? Do you disagree with it? I would love to know. So comment below, like, favorite, share, subscribe. If you enjoy my videos, consider becoming a Patreon member. It's totally optional, of course, but even as little as $1 a month goes a long way to helping the channel run smoothly, and you get access to my Patreon's exclusive blog. And as always, flame responsibly. Have a good one.